Hey tubers, welcome back. Got something kind of important we have to talk about today. It's known as the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And if you see, I put a little 13 years old and a line moving away from that. Basically, at this point, the federal government has fined YouTube for allowing kids younger than 13 to be tracked and communicated with and notified and all the other things. Basically, supposedly, 13-year-olds cannot, or younger than 13, cannot have Facebook accounts or anything like that. Basically, for less than 13, all the internet actions kind of needs adult guidance, adult monitoring. What they don't want is people to be able to get to kids through their online presence and attract them toward bad things or to find their way to them. Given that YouTube got in trouble with that, YouTube decided to make it the creator's problem on how to fix it. Creators have to decide whether their videos are for kids or not. And that's basically it. 13 years old seems to be the only factual thing I could find. 13 and up or less than 13. Okay, that's the dividing line for kids or not. Now things get interesting. What is for kids? Let's say you make truck and excavator videos. I know a lot of people with grandchildren who love trucks and excavators, and they'll watch every single one of those videos. Right? And I mean, starting at 2 years old. So would those be considered as made for kids? All-terrain vehicles. I can't think of a single 12-year-old who wouldn't love to have an all-terrain vehicle. I make videos on fixing all-terrain vehicles. Are those made for kids? There's a lot of creators out there who kind of make comic book things or tell stories or Legos or music videos. Who are they made for? Movie review videos. Who are they made for? And the problem is with this dividing line, right? If it's determined that you say your stuff is not made for kids, then YouTube tracks the videos, they allow comments, they allow them to be shared, they allow things that this COPPA thing does not allow for children. But YouTube decided that once again, we creators make that decision. And what happens if we decide wrong? The creator could be fined as much as $42,000 per video. Kind of scary, isn't it? You know, you make that we all fight to make sure that we get $100 a month so that we could have something put into our YouTube account every month, and you get hit with a federal fine of $42,000. It's going to take a little while to pay that off. I wonder if they take payments. Anyhow, but let's go forward on this, and I'm going to assume, because if you look on all-terrain vehicles, it says right on them that you shouldn't be riding it if you're less than 16 years old. Right? So, given that there's that comment, I'm going to assume that I'm pretty safe. The tool reviews I do, right? Generally speaking, most less than 13-year-olds don't have too much interest in manhandling 18-volt tools, and most parents won't let them manhandle a chainsaw or a circular saw or something like that, right? Because you don't want your 13-year-old or less to get damaged. So I think, and I'm pretty comfortable going forward and leaving my videos as not made for children, not made for kids, right? So I'm okay. The problem with this act, the only two things I saw was 13 years old, and by the way, they really don't define what's for a 12-year, 364-day-year-old kid and a 13-year-old kid, right? I'm not quite sure what the difference is for that, right? A lot of 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, you know, though there are changes, there's not all that much difference in interest in those years. Normally, it's kind of what school are you in to what defines your interest, right? Some states have kids stay in an elementary school, you know, until they're 14, and then they go to a high school for ninth grade on up. So how do you define that point, right? Normally, if you're in high school, you have one set of interests. Normally, if you're in grade school, you can have a completely different set of interests. And then there are states with the middle school concept, and God knows how you define what those kids are interested in. For a lot of people out there, and I keep seeing the videos, they're kind of in a whole heap of trouble, right? Let's say you have gaming videos. Where do they put those? Does it go by the kind of the content of the game? Right? I'm sure there's plenty of 12-year-olds playing some pretty interesting games out there and wanting to see or watch other people play them, or on YouTube and on other platforms. So I'm not quite sure where gaming goes. Music, where does that go? Animation, Legos, building models, right? All of that kind of stuff, you know, luckily I'm not involved in. Now, right now, the Google bots are not helping us make the decision for children or not. They are not involved in that. I just defined my entire tube, my entire channel and library and everything as 13 and older. So I really don't at this moment have too much of a problem. But the YouTube bots can go out there and redefine your stuff. So if they go through and kick one of your videos on the into the younger category, that video will not be shared. It cannot get comments, right? I'm not sure if it could move platform from platform. It definitely affects the advertisers, right? Why would Chevy Truck want to be advertising on a video meant for kids, right? So, you know, it completely changes things. And for the scariest, where it gets the scariest, is if you have kind of a mixed channel. Right, I'm not quite sure how that's going to be handled. Right, some videos meant for kids and some not. I'm not quite sure how that would be handled. I'm not quite sure what the advertisers would do with that and everybody else. Now, my conclusions. I've noticed since all this stuff started to come up, I kind of keep a half an eye. I noticed my channel volume is down a little bit. Even videos that normally have a pretty tight following, you know, as one's done this for a while and you're putting up a kind of a little bit of a mixed bag of videos, as I do, you kind of get used to, or you kind of have an expectation to how many views one of your videos will get. Typically, the videos I put up where I'm doing a review on tools, the first 48 hours, it does less, but in the longer haul, as somebody's looking up a tool or a light, something from Harbor Freight, typically on the longer haul, they do a little better as people look those up. unless, of course, Harbor Freight stops selling that particular tool, or Craftsman stops selling that particular tool. Normally for me, the videos that do pretty good on the upstart are the ones where I buy a new all-terrain vehicle or fish a new all-terrain vehicle that's been abandoned out of the buckwheat or whatever and work on it. But either way, I'm noticing the volume for both of them are down a little bit, especially for this time of year. Normally, for us YouTube creators, the Christmas holidays are the really the better part of the year. You know, what do you do? For me right now, I'm okay. And I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. So for my loyal subscribers, I'm still here for you. We're still doing everything we're supposed to be doing. As far as I know, there is no other channel platform out there quite as viable as YouTube, quite with the content that YouTube has and all that other kind of stuff. I mean, it's interesting. You go out on YouTube and you could catch everything from, you know, the local news report, weather forecast. I mean, your favorite music videos, whether they be vintage or Beethoven or new, alternate rock or whatever's new out there, techno wizardry videos, right? I mean, it's all out there. So, and the YouTube library is massive, right? And there's always new stuff going out there. And then once again, the small creators, you know, like myself, you get to go out and see what we're up to. I don't think there's any place else to go. So for now, this is where we all are, and this is what we're all doing. And should there be another platform that comes up, and even if given the time they come up with the full library that YouTube has, I'm not sure that they aren't going to run into all the same problems, right? It's a federal government thing. So for the creators out there, let me say this. This is going to be a pain in the neck, and it's probably going to cost you some money, some views, and some trouble. For the people who watch stuff out there, some of your creators are probably going to disappear. If you're a 40-year-old guy who really loves watching Lego videos or Lego cartoon type videos, that creator might disappear because he can't afford to do it anymore, right? What could YouTube do about this? I'm not sure. I don't know what they could do about it, right? I really don't want them classifying my videos. I mean, somehow they can make us interesting to the advertisers, but a lot of the advertisers are also worried, right? If they happen to attach their name to some video where somebody does something bad and they get a bunch of negative advertising, nobody wants that, right? So I'm not sure what to do to fix it. You know, in this world, things change quickly. And, you know, one day being a YouTube creator is a great way to make money. And the next day, it's no longer. And all the skills you picked up doing that just don't cut it. Once again, for now, I'm doing okay. And I could afford to do what I do, and I could afford to run my channel. But YouTube is a month-to-month gig, guys. We all got to remember that, and we all got to plan for that accordingly. Anyway, I really, really want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. I hope this helps some people out there. I'm sure it'll bring some interesting comments. Please remember to keep your feet down, your heads up, and I want you all to get out and enjoy each and every day. Bye now.